Welcome back to the #1 podcast in the world. I am your host, Chase Demoor.
And Gabrielle Moses.
And man, it's been a while, but we have a lot of stuff to cover. From dead popes, TV shows, movies.
Whoa, don't say it like that.
Don't say it like that.
Peace, Pope Francis.
Rest in peace, Pope Francis. What was his actual name?
Pope Francis?
No, you change your name when you become the Pope.
I should probably Google that before I say the wrong thing. I feel like I should know this because I was, I'm Catholic.
Yeah, well, like normally when you become a Pope, they change your name.
It literally just says Pope Francis.
Yes, but when you become a Pope, do you not change your name?
Yes, but it literally just says Pope, full name. Jorge Mario Bergoglio.
I'm sure you butchered that pronunciation.
Definitely did.
R.I.P. to the Pope, man. I'm going to start the podcast out with the Pope. We wasn't supposed to start with the Pope, but I just want to talk about it a little bit because I think it's just paying respects to the Catholic people and all the people mourning right now. They go through the 9 days of mourning before they lock themselves in the enclave, I think it's called? Enclave, until they come out with a new Pope with the white smoke and all that beautiful stuff.
But no, there's weird stuff happening around the Vatican. When they did the funeral, it was cloudy all in Rome. Right above the Vatican, the clouds broke, and I'll put that on the screen right now. But it was crazy, and the sun shone through. And then at nighttime, all these seagulls were literally flying around the Vatican, which I'll also put on the screen. And it was the weirdest thing ever, because one, seagulls aren't supposed to fly at night like that. And two, why are they all the way inland like that? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's actually crazy to me because I grew up Catholic as well. I wear a crucifix around my neck, and I think recently with the passing of Pope Francis, because he was a people's pope, it really drove my interest to see what it was like in the selection of a new pope. And I think the process is very interesting because it's very dated, it's very old. I think
Traditions.
It's very traditional. It's they've modernized it a little bit, but it's still very traditional where they lock themselves inside the enclave. And basically the only requirements to become a pope is you have to be a baptized Christian male or baptized Catholic male. And it's weird to think that obviously it would never happen, but really anybody could become the pope.
You have to be a cardinal.
You don't have to be a cardinal. That's false information. That's fake news.
Most of the popes have all been cardinals, though, except
since 1800s, since before that. I'm not arguing that, but I'm just saying technicality is the only requirement is to be. Yeah, obviously, I think I pronounced it wrong, but it is conclave or something like that. However they do it, I think the process is really interesting because you got the black smoke. They put a chemical in there when they don't have a deciding factor about who the pope's going to be, and then it turns white when they do come up with the idea of the pope.
Something like that.
And it's the majority of them have to vote.
I also don't think people realize, if you've never been to the Vatican, how big it is.
It's
the
massive.
Buildings. We've been. It's insane.
Well, a lot of people also don't know that Vatican City is
its own city with 803 people living there.
It's its own country, not its own city.
Oh, that's what I meant. Country, yeah.
It's its own country. It's the smallest country in the world. Up there with the smallest countries in the world. But it's all separate from Italy and the rest of Rome. And I think one of the front runners to be the next pope is actually a Filipino man, comes from Asian culture, which is actually very interesting because Catholicism spreading over in Asian culture is going to be huge, obviously.
I mean, it is already very prevalent, and I think, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see who ends up being the pope.
Well, I think the main religion in Asian cultures is Buddhism.
Hinduism, Buddhism. Yeah, it depends on where you're at, I think.
I'm just saying, I think it's really cool that, there could be a potential, Asian pope. It'd be the first time in history that's ever happened. Now we're just waiting for a brother to be up in there, you know what I mean? I might be the first one.
You're not going to be the pope, Chase.
Don't tell me.
Just like you think that one day you'll be the president. It's just...
I'm also going to be an astronaut. Before I'm out of here, I've done it all. I've done it all. Reality TV, social media, modeling, acting, boxing, football. Hey, listen. Just adding
let's talk about something a little bit more prevalent to you and Netflix and your new show called Battle Camp.
Yeah, guys, obviously I've been fired. It's crazy. Just kidding. Back. My 15 minutes of fame got extended yet again. I know you guys hate
another show.
I know you guys hate to see it.
You can't get rid of him,
Listen,
unfortunately.
I think my 15 minutes should at least be extended to 45 by now. Let's be so for real. All right.
Definitely.
I just want to talk a little bit about Battle Camp. Did you watch Battle Camp?
I did.
And what did you think?
I thought it was actually really good. It's my favorite reality show So far, way, way better than Perfect Match. No offense, Perfect Match was shit because everyone was just wanting airtime, so everyone was faking everything. Battle Camp, you couldn't really fake anything. So it was just like more real, more people like arguing about challenges and stuff and just being petty because they were actually being petty.
Yeah, like, well, if you haven't got a chance to watch Battle Camp, go watch it. But
We're gonna give some spoilers right now. Here's a spoiler alert, just in case you have not watched it.
I'm gonna give you guys some of the deleted scenes. I'm gonna give you guys something so exclusive that you guys are gonna want to talk about this for a while. There's a lot of things that happen in Battle Camp specifically, if you haven't seen it yet, that I think would have played a major role in how the story development went. One of them being, obviously, I'm gonna start with the Trey situation. We'll talk about Trey for a second. Let me tell you how you take a guy who was so beloved on Squid Games, went in there with his mother, and you put him on Battle Camp, where it's about making allies, X, Y, and Z, and this guy flips the script entirely and becomes one of the most hated villains in all of reality TV. So bad.
Ugh, I hated him.
So bad, in fact, they said, look, we don't got anybody to compete with this guy, so they sent in the real villain. They said, all we have left is Chase. Come get rid of this man. You know it takes. I gotta give credit to Trey. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. It takes such a bad guy to make me look like the good guy.
Yeah, it does.
To make me look like the hero, getting rid of this man, you got to be some sort of evil. And I want to say, game well played to Trey. Game well played to Trey. And the first deleted scene I want to talk about is the night Trey got eliminated.
Ooh.
This was some of the most devious work that I think I've ever had to do on TV. Essentially, I
just wanted to punch him every time I saw his face. Like, no
Exactly.
offense or anything. Did not like him. He reminded me of a rat.
Right. Full transparency. In real life, I like Trey. He's a nice guy. But, you know.
Good thing he's not that terrible in real life.
Yeah. The game is the game. Right? And so it was some nasty work that I had to do on the night Trey got eliminated. Basically, we were told that we weren't even really told, but we knew that Netflix was going to pick basically 6 finalists, and this was going to be our last opportunity to get rid of somebody because they did mention to us that this was going to be the final elimination wheel ceremony. And we were trying to figure out, what does that mean? Because we, at this time, did not know that the last wheel was going to be for the grand prize. So with Trey, I went around to the group and I was like, listen, this is our last shot to get rid of this man. They brought me in here because Louis got eliminated and this guy pretended to be Louis' friend. And when I got there, he tried to come be my friend and tell me that Louis was his guy in here. And
wicked work.
Trying to manipulate a manipulator is insane. And you know that old saying, it takes one to know one. So I knew fully that this guy was a fraud, you know? And I remember in the final wheel ceremony, the reason we were all holding each other so closely is because if Trey did not get eliminated in that moment, Trey was going to be a finalist on that show, and he could have potentially walked through that entire thing and won $250,000 stabbing everybody in the back. And I said, I will die on that hill getting eliminated before I let that happen. So I made sure everybody in that damn villa, except for Shuby, obviously, because Shuby kept on, for some reason, wanting to vote for me, voted for Trey to get eliminated, and we were all willing to risk that. And when he got eliminated, I forget what specific number he was on Squid Games. I knew it then. I think it was like player 263 or something like that. I remember I looked right at the host, Taylor Luan. When he got eliminated, I said, player 263, eliminated. And I got called insensitive for that. I was like, are you joking?
Here's what was so funny. If you look back at that scene, whenever you guys are all holding each other, he's like awkwardly on the side. And I think you had your arm around his shoulder too. And I was laughing so hard because I knew just by watching the show how much you hated him.
Oh, I need to get rid of him. I was like, buddy, you think you're the villain?
And then he didn't even get out on the first one.
Yeah.
He got out the second time, and you can tell how nervous all of you guys were. Like, oh shoot, we might be stuck with him.
Well, like there's a track record there because he was trying to fake a personality to me, and it was like the first wheel ceremony. I sat him in that room, and I sat him down, and I said, "Listen, buddy, you want to be a part of this team?" And I was the team captain. So you want to be a part of this team? We protected you tonight. Mm-hmm. We expect you to do the same for us. Follow the rules, and we won't have no problems. And the very first thing he did was trying to go break the fucking rules. And I'm like, this guy thinks I'm joking. This guy really thinks I gave him a chance. Then on the next wheel ceremony, he thought I was going to vote for my own friend.
Yeah.
He fully thought that.
I think he was mad about that too because you went against the team.
Well, a little bit back dynamic on that is like one of the mornings we woke up and we got the team together and I said, listen, I want no excuses. If it's Georgia, if it's Lorenzo, if it's me, if anybody goes against this team's group decision, they will be the next one on that board, regardless of anything. And I made that perfectly clear to everybody. And everybody was like, okay, we understand. And I knew fully that everybody was going to vote for Kyle. And I was like, in my head, I was like, this is not how I'm going to play this game. I'm going to be.
Yeah, because you guys were bros.
I'm going to be who I am inside the show. And that was my guy in there. And we came in there together. And I said, listen, if we leave together, so be it, but I'm not going to be the one to stab you in the back. You can trust me. And I want people to know that you can trust me. If I give you my word, if one thing in this life, if I give you my word, all you have is in this world is your word. And I told Kyle, I said, listen, I'm not going to vote against you, and I got you. And so Kyle was not blindsided at the wheel. I actually had a conversation with Kyle in the bathroom. I said, listen, everybody's putting you on that wheel, so just so you know. So that's why Kyle came out there, and he was a little bit upset. And he actually initially, when the wheel didn't land, or when the wheel landed on him, he actually left without saying anything. And I went and got him. I said, you need to come back, and you need to address the group. You need to say some stuff, because this is all Trey's doing, essentially, because Trey basically wanted everybody to team up against you. And I didn't tell the group that I wasn't going to vote for him. And I fully expected the group to throw me under the bus. And Trey was so happy. He's like, we're going to get rid of Chase because he's the one that said this. He's the one that said, if you go against this group, then you're going to be eliminated. And the thing is I didn't ask for forgiveness. I didn't ask for anybody to look past it. I said, listen, you go against this group, then you're gone. And I expected to be gone. My team, my group, they rallied for me. They didn't vote for me. They understood. They were there for me. And I would have done the same for Lorenzo. I did the same for Georgia. I did the same for Pauly. All my people in there, I would have not gone against any of them. And, I'm glad that I decided to stand on business and make Kyle my friend, essentially.
Well, Trey was preying on your downfall the entire time.
QD was, Shuby was
Shuby, yeah.
I'll tell you guys a fun fact. Out of all of the finalists, I had the most votes against me. I had 8 votes against me total throughout entire battle camp. 8 votes against me. Mm-hmm. 5 of which came from Shuby. And the one time I needed him to vote for me in the finale, he's like, nah, I won't vote for you this week. Of course you won't, because now I'm going.
I was also laughing so hard. I went up to Shuby at the party for the release of Battle Camp. I'm like, you voted for Chase every single time.
Every time.
Every single time. And I was dying laughing. He's like, I just had to. It was my strategy.
I didn't understand. And I said, they asked me when I got there, who do you think would not vote for you? And I was like, well, I'm friends with Shuby in Georgia in real life, so they probably wouldn't vote for me. And Shuby was the only one that was so consistent voting for me every time. He's like, he's just too strong of a player. I think it'll open up the game for me. What does that even mean?
Shuby.
But he walked through the entire show untouched.
He really did. He really did. He's so funny.
Wasn't a threat in any challenges.
And also Kyle, who didn't win a single challenge.
Well, the thing with Kyle is Kyle had a tough task ahead of him. One, he had to beat me.
Spelling?
Yeah. Pressure makes diamonds.
You guys were literally getting flamed online for the spelling thing.
Okay, look, everybody could say what they want.
But Ocean.
When you have a million cameras on you and somebody ready to launch you off of a pad and they say, spell the word ocean, you're going to think once or twice to make sure you spell that word twice.
I would hope an 8-year-old could spell.
Can you spell facade right now?
Facade?
Yeah.
That wasn't even on the show.
Oh, you were so cheeky. That was one of the other deleted scenes. There was actually more words than what they showed. They just showed the funny ones.
Yeah, they had to speed it up, I think. To be fair, the challenges took up the most of the episodes.
Yeah.
It was almost too long.
Some of them, I think, could have been
like Guess the Imposter. I liked that one.
Yeah, Guess the Imposter.
That challenge was good.
Which one was that one?
It was the one where...
Oh, where they drank the milkshake?
The milkshake that was moldy cheese, the bad hot dog, the shocking, which...
If you guys think any of that stuff's fake, it's not.
Yeah, which, another thing, Tony and Gabby.
Yeah, that was actually jokes.
He carried the first few episodes.
That man has unmatchable aura.
The crying.
I need to see that man back on TV as soon as possible.
He was so funny. Keep in mind, Gabby had a boyfriend while filming all this, and she even says it on the show. I have a boyfriend, Tony. We're not even going to picture anything together. Hard no, hard pass. He's like, well, when we get out of here, that $250,000 can go towards a wedding and a house and all this.
Yeah, this man was completely convinced he was match Gabby. And Gabby's a cute girl. Like, don't get me wrong, she's got a lot going for her. She's got the cheerleaders, she's huge and all this and that. Let me tell you, Tony, the aura this man had when he said, "Give me the flag, I'm the most attractive one," loses the challenge, right? All of this is going south for the Bears. They've lost every challenge. And when he gets back to Georgia, he doesn't even address any of the other problems in the group. The first thing he says is, "You didn't pick me as the most attractive? Why did you not pick me?" He was so concerned about that.
So funny.
The way I love this man.
And he's like that in real life too.
I love that man.
His personality is.
That man is.
He's just a big goof.
I need to take. He's coming on summer trip with me. I'm taking him. I'm taking Louis. We're going summer tour.
God.
That is gonna be magic, maybe. Talking about another deleted scene that I really wanted to emphasize on is one of the best moments in Battle Camp is one of the days. Well, okay. First of all, if you guys remember the water challenge when we were shooting the slingshot, you catch the slingshot, you shoot in the basket. In that, the reason that Georgia and Trey got swapped, because mind you, Trey I had to bring off the bench and I needed him to sub in because I had a Georgia initially. Georgia played her heart out. I swear to God, guys, I wish it showed it how it actually happened. She went so hard to try to keep up with Kyle while I was catching the things that she actually started to drown in the water, in the lake. And I had to stop what I was doing mid-game and go basically pull Georgia out of the water. They stopped production for the whole day. She was like, damn near needed resuscitation. Like, she was struggling. But I was so proud of her because she was trying to compete against, obviously, somebody in Kyle who on paper would be a much better athlete, right?
Yeah.
And it was pretty close. And, at that point, I was faced with the decision when I fully, mind you guys, nothing Trey did was discreet. Like, Kyle had already informed me that Trey was going to botch the challenge, and I was fully on board. So I was watching Trey like a hawk, right? And I had to sub Trey in. And I'm like, listen, you want to be a bear or you want to be a wolf or whatever the hell you want to be today, you got to show me you want to be an eagle. And he came in, and I thought he was going to take the piss at first, but he showed up when he needed to show up, and it kind of gave me hope for him for a little bit, but I knew he was only doing it to his advantage while, Georgia was checking to make sure she didn't need to go to the hospital or not. Also, the little suits that we were wearing, Gab, were so tight. Like, I'm telling you, those
made you
weighted
look
vests,
skinnier. Come on.
it's not even about making you skinny, because you got to think, so you have the wetsuit on. The wetsuits have to fit tight, right? Then you have to put the rash jacket on. The rash jacket was the red ones or the blue ones, right? To make sure that it doesn't, pill or anything. And then you put the weighted floating vest on.
Yeah.
Right? And then that was tight. So you basically can't breathe and you're having to swim and jump across these things.
Wait, the thing was weighted that you guys were wearing? I thought it was a life jacket.
Well, I mean, when I say weighted, I mean, when it gets wet, it gets heavy. It's like when you dip a life jacket in the water, it's pretty fucking heavy.
Oh.
So what I'm saying is, you not only are you compressed with the suit,
it's just a lot.
It's a lot on your lungs to have to do that while running and jumping from platform to platform. So. After that, another deleted scene that we had was we were all sitting around the campfire. Mm-hmm. And we were roasting s'mores. And this was towards the end of the series. And we were all talking about our favorite moments in camp. I think Lorenzo brought up another deleted scene, obviously, when we all made friendship bracelets. So if you guys go and look at the later episodes, you'll see that we all have these colorful bracelets on.
Yeah.
And I made Lorenzo a colorful friendship bracelet that said his name, and I made one for Georgia, and I made one for Polly, and we all made each other, and we all wore these. We were very close as a team, which is what I really liked about the Eagles. Even when we went to the individual game, we were kind of all looking out for each other. Even, in the water challenge, when I was like, Polly, come with me to get the far back. You know what I mean? Just making sure I'm looking out for everybody. And, in that moment, I had a lot of conversation with, particularly talking about perfect match with Georgia. And this was money. And I wish they aired this, but they didn't. But we talked about the rock scene. Talked about the rock scene. We did. And she was like, looking back on it, maybe I should have gave it a chance. And I'm like, so I got sacked. On national television. Got booted out of that house. Made fun of for over a year for giving you this rock. And now fast forward in the future, okay, it was kind of cute. That's all I needed. That is all I needed. And they didn't even air it. I was looking forward to that.
Oof.
Made me look like,
Denied.
No. It's not even about being denied. Because, here's the thing. And I said this to her when we were talking about it. I was like, she asked me, she's like, why did you think that Dom was not my perfect match. And I said, if that was Harry sitting down there, if that was Dom sitting down there, if that was anybody, Skrillex sitting down there, I said it's not a perfect match. Why? Because I fully believe that at that time, I was your perfect match on that show. And I said that to her. And that's when we got to talking about The Rock. And the thing is, when you look at the course of these things and you look at the story development in reality TV, some things never change. And you have chemistry and you have good moments with these people. And it comes with the bad. It comes with the, you have a very immature version of myself on Perfect Match that had a lot of outside stuff going on. And it's just like, you put that all aside, you develop a friendship through years, and you go back and you do it again. And it's just like, you have these things in a different light. And I said to her, like, do I think that Harry was a good match for you? To this day, no. To this day. Man went on podcasts and he's spoken ill of you, and, however you guys' breakup by him just leaving a letter on a bed and saying, like, we're done when you guys live together. Dom with the tears, and now he's buddies with the new ex-boyfriend. Like, if you don't think that that's a bit weird, and they go on a podcast and they laugh about it and the whole world's laughing at you, like, if you think that that makes them any sort of a match, then you're wrong. And then they go and you have coffee with him not too long ago, and the very first thing he does is post a video of you.
Without your knowledge?
Without your knowledge, when your show is getting ready to come out, your new Netflix show that's obviously one of the best ones to come out, and you don't say anything to him about, well, you make a video about it, but it's just like, at a certain point, I can't even blame Harry anymore, because you guys continue to let this happen blindly. At a certain point, like, Dom, like, it is what it is for Dom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have no quarrels, no beef with Dom, but, he becomes friends with your ex-boyfriend. Like, that says everything you need to say. And then Harry didn't even want to tell Dom about it. Harry didn't even inform Dom that he was going on another date with Georgia. Why? Because he doesn't care about his friendships with them.
No, he just wants to use people.
He just wants to use them. And it's just like, game is the game. It's social media. I'm not coming on here to shit on anybody or attack anybody. But what I'm saying is, like, everybody on Battle Camp, I care about.
Yeah, you guys had a really close, like, tight-knit cast.
We still have a group chat that we talk every day in. We had 3 premieres last week. I've done damn near every reality TV show on this planet, and I have never had a better cast than this one. And so I care about them, and I care about the image that they portray. And it's just like, as soon as you open up that can of worms and you let that negativity and stuff come in, they're just going to continue to attack you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, without going on another tangent, in that moment when we were sitting at that campfire, she asked me, who did you think was my perfect match? Obviously me. I was your perfect match. Not Dom, not Harry. And I didn't say it out of hate or spite. I said it because that's genuinely how I felt. Because I might do a lot of things, but I would never go in the public and shit on another female for the sake of views and clicks. But moving on from Battle Camp, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
It's actually really good. It's my favorite reality show so far.
Gabrielle loves it, so.
And I'm a very harsh critic.
Yeah, I know.
So.
I watched a couple episodes of there, and I'm like, Gab, pay attention here. You're gonna miss some stuff.
Yeah, he was yelling at me because I like to multitask.
She
whenever
can't multitask.
I always multitask when I'm watching TV. I'm usually on my phone and doing something else while watching it in the background. You're like, pay attention, pay attention.
ADHD is not multitasking, buddy.
I'm getting multiple things done at once. I could edit and watch a show and play with the dogs all at once. Sorry, you can't do that.
You weren't playing with the dogs. You were trying to pick something out of the cat's teeth.
No, the cat had a piece of plastic in his.
We ain't talking about that. Anyways, so Gabrielle and I have some exciting news to share with you guys. Some really exciting news. Finally, the answer you guys have been looking for. Gabrielle and I are filming a movie.
Yes, we are.
We are filming a movie. Here is some BTS for you guys to enjoy.
It's long days.
Talk about the days, Gab.
12 hours. So I got there early the first day of filming because, I don't know, it just happens that way. Imagine 9 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. It's around 12-hour days. And then tomorrow we film again, another 12-hour day, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. because legally they can't go over 12 hours because it's against SAG rules and they can get fined and in a lot of trouble. That's the only reason why it's only 12-hour days. And then Thursday.
Okay, without talking about the schedule, because we don't need everybody to know the schedule.
I was gonna say I filmed.
Talk about what it's like filming, getting ready, the process, the script. Talk about that stuff.
Lots of time and a lot of just like redoing every single little thing. Like we shot one scene.
How's it go? Tell us how
8 times.
Talk about
different angles. I had to pretend to kiss someone. Which imagine this. It's your first ever time acting, doing anything, and you sit down and they're like, okay, now kiss. Not him. A guy that I don't even know who has a child. And you have to play it off like it's not.
What does a child have to do with anything?
I don't know. I feel like it paints a picture. Like it's a random man that has other like outside things. I don't know. So, oh my God, it's so awkward. And you just have to play it off like it's peachy and like this is real life. So you have to like put yourself in the character and pretend like, okay, I'm doing this. Like I'm interested. I'm flirting. I'm like trying to get with someone. And it's just so awkward, but it's so fun. After the first scene, I was like, okay, I got this. This is fun.
Was it fun or was it work?
It was
You
work.
can understand why
it was work. Oh my gosh. And it's just like sitting in really uncomfortable ways. Not even like uncomfortable, like hurting your legs. Like imagine.
Unnatural ways.
Unnatural. That's the word I'm looking for. Like I was kneeling on my knees on rocks and like pebbles and like sticks. Probably for like 30 minutes. And I got up yesterday and my knees were.
Well, Gabrielle's a bit of a diva too. She didn't tell you that she made somebody hike like a damn near a mile to give her a lip gloss.
It was hair and makeup. I said, I just ate a donut. I need some more lip gloss.
It's like pitch
It wasn't
black.
like that though.
It's pitch black
They were
outside.
supposed to still be up there. And I thought they were
Freezing
still
cold.
up there.
Gabrielle decides to eat a donut and goes, I need
In
my lip
between
gloss.
scenes.
Is anybody still here to bring Gabrielle her lip? Pause the whole set until she got
It
her
was
damn
one
lip gloss.
extra minute. They were literally right by us. It wasn't
they
that.
were not.
He's
They
making
were
it
not.
sound way more
They were
dramatic than
not.
it is.
She needed that. It was
Because
long.
I was doing a close-up of my face, reshooting the scene, and it was literally a tight of my face. So imagine just, not even my shoulder, like literally my head in it. And that's it. I'm like, I want to make sure there's no donut out my mouth, and I want some lip gloss. Like, I'm so sorry that this is going to be seen by a lot of people, and I want my lip gloss.
She hated the makeup person, I'm convinced.
No, I didn't. They just... Listen, okay, again, first time doing film. They just do things that you're not used to. Like, my eyeshadow kept creasing because they didn't prep my eyes, and so they had to keep redoing my eyeshadow, and I'm like, well, I could bring my, like, eyeshadow primer.
How was learning the script and applying it in the show?
Okay, I was nervous. The first scene, I was nervous. But then after the first scene, I felt like low-key a pro. I had a little bit more confidence. I was like, okay, I got this. First scene, though, I was terrified. I was scared because I had to, like, pretty much try and kiss someone. Mm-hmm. Imagine, first scene ever. Can't be something easy. Can't be something,
Yeah, but who told you that was going to be a lot?
Yeah, Chase was like, this is going to be a lot.
Because initially,
I didn't know it was going to be my first scene.
Because initially, in the original script, she was actually meant to kiss him fully.
Like, full on, like, make out.
Yeah, right? And I said to Gabrielle, I'm like, just so you know, it is really hard to do that.
And really awkward.
And very awkward. And if you don't have acting experience and you've never done it before, and that turns out to be your first scene, you are going to hate it. And she goes, yeah, maybe I will say something. And then when he took that out, she was like, oh, they took it out. She didn't think it was that big of a deal. So imagine how awkward it looked and how weird she felt when she had to fake kissing somebody.
Yeah, like going for a kiss and then like he denied.
She's like 5 feet away and the director's like, I just needed you to be a little bit closer, a little bit closer.
So I had to grab this guy's face and play with his hair and hold his like face in my like hand and like go in for
She did not want to do it. And I was trying not to laugh. I was like, she doesn't want to be there.
It was, yeah. In my corner of the eye, I see Chase like laughing and going like, I'm like, shut the heck up.
Because like, I understand, like I do TV, guys. Like, and I understand like, you can say what you want about reality TV, but it's a genre of television. You have a whole production. And the difference between acting a movie out and acting reality TV, I'm going to tell you. In a movie, they can change angles. They can make things seem like how it didn't get filmed. You sit in weird positions. On reality TV, a lot of that's improv. You got like 7 or 8 cameras around you, and you have to have a conversation about something you might not want to talk about for X amount of time.
You also have to memorize lines for the movies. And if you forget one single line or like something doesn't add up, it messes up everyone else.
Well, that kind of like it's also based off of what the line is and then who it is that your co-actors are, because a lot of the times like
They're good with,
they can like force the conversation, but if you have like a specific line or something, you
that
might
cues the next.
that cues the next. It can mess up the flow, but luckily like the script wasn't too complicated, and the nice thing about when you film a movie is well, yesterday we did 22 pages normally,
which was insane.
which is a lot. Normally you only do like 6 pages a day.
Yeah, they're like 8's about average. We did 22.
Yeah, so you really only have to know your lines for certain scenes, and you go over that like rehearsals, and you practice it, and then you get there, you have cut and action, and if you forget a line, you can ask somebody, what's my line, and they'll tell you, and they'll make it look how it's supposed to look, because that's what the different angles are.
This is how I think about it though. I'm like, if even the other people who are there, the other actors who's been doing it for years, they're like, this is probably one of the hardest filming things I've ever done, because it's so much content, so much of everything in one single day. They're like, if you do anything else after this, honestly, it's gonna be way easier. I'm like, okay, we're thrown into the thick of it. Anything after this, cakewalk.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep sharing like BTS, so make sure you guys are go checking out our TikToks, our reels.
I'm gonna vlog a YouTube video.
She's gonna vlog a YouTube video, so make sure you guys are tuning into this stuff, because we're gonna be filming all the BTS. We're gonna go introduce some of the cast. We're gonna introduce some of like Gabrielle's time on set, etc., etc. And then, guys, when the movie comes out, we need everybody to go blow that up.
Because it's gonna be October is what they're aiming for.
It's gonna be one of the biggest movies, I think, and we obviously play some pretty good roles in that, and so yeah.
If there's one scene I look really awkward in, just know it's my first ever scene. It's in the middle of the movie though. Thank God. It's not like the first, because now I'm like.
Well, let me tell you about movie magic. They're going to make it look like a pro.
I hope they do. They're going to need to work some magic on that scene.
You did good, though. For her first time on camera, she did really well.
Yeah, it was fun. And we had an interesting scene together, too.
Yeah, but we're not going to spoil too much.
There's going to be some crazy stuff that happens in the movie.
Just know, like, there's some good stuff in that movie, and we're excited to share that with you guys.
You have about 6 months till you guys get to see it.
But we're going to move on to the next thing that I want to talk about a little bit is Shannon Sharpe. What in the hell-iante?
What the hell?
What the hell? Not only are we going to talk about Shedeur falling to the 5th pick in the draft in the sports universe, which I think was a complete facade, and a lot of that had to do with his dad, Coach Prime, who's one of the best men and college football coaches in general out there in the U.S. And I think the NFL should be ashamed of themselves for how that turned out. Hold on, let me finish before you get going. I think they should absolutely be ashamed, because I think there's a lot of like this Colin Kaepernick nonsense, and they're taking it out on Shedeur, and I just need to speak my piece on that, because that was some bullshit. There's no way that man should have went 5th round. You cost that man $20+ million.
See, this is how I think about it. NFL draft is like sorority bid day. A little bit more high stakes, but same idea. You get to figure out where you go. I
don't think you know a damn thing about the NFL draft. I don't even think you know when it was.
Yes, it was the other day.
What day?
They had some really cool artwork. I saw this dude.
So I'm going to talk about the football stuff before Gabrielle starts saying some dumb shit. Yeah, so they did this draft, and basically Shedeur was up there to be one of the top picks in the draft, 1st round at least. And he ended up falling into the 5th round. And just for you guys that don't know, 1st rounders get like millions of dollars when they sign. If you're the 1st round draft pick, you're getting like 20 million off the rip. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting ridiculous bread, right? And after that, it doesn't really. 2nd rounder, you're still getting a lot. 3rd rounder, you're getting much less. By the time you get a 5th round, you might as well be a free agent at that point, because then you can negotiate.
You're getting the minimum, aren't you?
He's getting the minimum. He's getting like 500 and some 46.
NFL minimum is $850. I googled it.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, it went up, inflation, all that.
I would love to make $850.
Yeah, well, I mean, taxes.
Yeah.
But you got to think.
Agents and.
Yeah, agent fees, 20%, 50%. But you have to think he was making more in college. His NIL deal was like $2 million.
I didn't think about that.
Yes.
Oh, that's why he's being so mad. Did he say he was going to go to the USFL instead?
No, he made a joke about it. But the thing is he's still going to make a lot of money, and he's going to go compete for a job. But when you're a 5th rounder, it's easy to get cut too.
Yeah. Well, then he better show that he's important and needs to be there.
Because there's no ties.
Up.
And then the Browns are typically where quarterbacks go to die. Like that's.
Oh, he's a quarterback.
Yes, he's a quarterback. Yes. And, you know,
That's why he was angry.
I think he's got a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's got a lot to prove, and I think it's very controversial right now. But what the NFL did to him is wrong.
Well, didn't someone also prank call him?
He also got a prank call.
By one of the Falcons. I forget what the guy's...
The defensive coordinator for the Falcons' son went on his iPad, got his number, and gave him the prank call on his phone, which is very distasteful because, like, here's the thing is, like, you could tell the popularity of Shador because if he did that to any other person, it wouldn't make national news. But because it's Shador, it was national news that he was a fifth rounder, and it was big PR stunts across social media, and, like, it was obviously he had something going against him because there's no way that he should have ever been in the fifth round. Like, that makes almost next to no sense.
There has to be something. Like, he must have gotten injured and it's no one knows.
No, I think what it is like they're making an example out of him because he didn't go to draft meetings and he didn't do stuff in the combine. And his dad was, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, was very problematic in his time in the NFL because he was so good that he had like this thing.
So he was being an arrogant asshole.
He wasn't being, he was doing his thing. The thing is the NFL probably looked at the situation was like, if we don't make an example out of Shador,
then
everybody's going to start doing it.
If he wasn't showing up to stuff, though, that makes it sound like he thought he was...
He didn't show up to interviews. And the NFL talks about, it's all about your play. Like,
yeah.
He did his play. He showed he could play football. He has the stats. He didn't show up to his interviews, and he didn't do this because he was trying to follow his dad's mold. And they didn't want another Deion Sanders.
They didn't want another diva.
Exactly. So they essentially made an example out of him so that others didn't follow this mold. Does that make sense? Because if they would have...
That's an expensive example.
Not for the NFL.
Yeah, they saved some money, but for
They saved millions.
Yeah.
For Shador, it cost him a lot of money because it wasn't based on his play. All they said was, okay, you might have all the talent in the world, but we're going to push you all the way to the fifth round. You're getting paid nothing. And the thing is, your rookie contract's 4 years.
Here's my thing. This is for all the ladies who are watching. Think about it like this. You went through sorority recruitment and you did a suicide bid, and that suicide bid didn't work out, and then you ended up having to do springtime recruitment. That's what happened to him.
Bro, it's not the same thing. Anyway, so he's done it over. But moving on from him, let's talk about Shannon Sharp being accused of rape by a 19-year-old. Being accused of SA.
Right after he got the $100 million ESPN deal.
Sued for $50 million. And the problem is she tried to manipulate a video and text messages and phone calls. It was clearly a setup. It's unfortunate because he had to step down from his role on ESPN.
Oh, he did end up stepping down?
So he's taking a step back. I think he's going to return in the preseason. But he had to take a step back because, like, all this is going on. If you guys aren't familiar or caught up with it, you guys just do your research. Go check it out.
Look it up on TikTok.
I think the girl is completely in the wrong. Whatever that girl is, I don't even want to say her name. I do know it, but I'm not going to say it because I'm not even going to give that girl credit of the day. What she did was absolutely wrong. It was blackmailing at the finest point. When I say blackmailing, I'm not talking about the old term slang of blackmail. I'm saying a blackmailing, you know? And I think she took advantage of the situation. And I'm not saying, you know, should a 57 or whatever years old be smashing a 19-year-old, whatever. Like, all you guys can say what you want, but if you were 57 males out there and the 19-year-old was all over you, you'd probably do the same thing.
She saw dollar signs.
Yeah, she saw dollar signs, and then she was like, I'm going to sue him and get what I can out of it. And it just came off as like, you know, this is extortion.
That is extortion. Honestly, she should get in trouble for that.
But it's a problem because the laws are not ever going to let her get along. She's in the wrong. And,
yikes. That's not good.
Speaking of people being in the wrong, no, I ran into Tiana.
Oh, are you saying that you're in the wrong?
Well, you know what? I met Tiana, and I've said my piece about Tiana.
Oh, a few times.
A few times.
The
NFL stunts, the Adrian stunts, all the crap she's been doing. I met her. Have a conversation with a stagecoach. Nice girl. I apologize. I was in the wrong.
That's the first time I've ever heard you apologize.
Tell me about it. Don't get too used to it. Me saying sorry is almost unheard of, but nice girl. I have no quarries with her. Slate's clean. Good job, Tiana. Proud of you.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
I was in the wrong.
Do you want to say anything? Do you want to expand upon that?
I'm not expanding. You got my apology, and There it is. Tiana, good job. Big ups, Tiana. There is my apology. Moving on from Tiana.
He said we're not going to take too long to apologize.
We're not spending too much time on that.
Oh, the woman.
Yeah, talk about the woman.
Oh my gosh, this lady in Florida, I think it was, pretended to be ICE so she could kidnap her boyfriend. And now she got arrested and is facing jail time for impersonation of her government official.
Hey, listen, I gotta say fair play. Fair freaking play. She got her ass.
No, but
she got, but she got hers before she got.
Like the ultimate crazy girlfriend. I'm like, oh my gosh, so creative, by the way. So creative. You're pretending to be ICE to just get your man's back is wild.
Yeah, so last thing I'm gonna talk about my fight, May the 16th. We're coming up on that. I've been super busy with all this reality TV and filming a movie. But listen, I got to go fight the Viking. This is what he looks like. This is who he thinks he looks like. Yeah, I'm about to just go put belt to ass. Like, buddy, you got a long day. He's like in his 40s. Imagine this guy thinks he's going to be the one to beat me.
He might actually break a bone.
I'm going to break his cheekbone. Listen, we're fighting in Derby, England. So all of you guys that are in Derby, England, Birmingham, or any of those close.
Derby.
Yeah. Me and Gabrielle will be there. So if you guys want to come meet us, make sure you guys get out there. But we are going to go defend the title against this man. I got to give him credit. He stepped up to the plate because Roman Fury is an absolute duck. And I'm done with Roman. Full transparency.
I'm so sorry. I have zero respect for someone who's only after like the money aspect of things. And if he doesn't get away, throws a bitch fit.
He's a fraud. And Gabrielle knows firsthand how much time, effort, energy, money, not only myself, Misfits, Mams, put into making this fight happen. Everybody, I was supposed to be the underdog, and he's the one that backed out. What a pussy-o.
I have to keep my mouth shut because I will get you in trouble if I say things.
Let me finish, Gab. Hold on. And to top of that, I'm done with him. I'm absolutely done. Roman, you lost your chance. You went and you fought a bum on your brother's promotion to try to pad your record more to make people think you're a threat. You are a bum. You can't fight. I'm done with you. Tommy, I'm going to come chin you next. Tommy's the only guy I care about right now. You had your time with KSI. You had your time with Jake. Listen, I'm the guy that's going to get it done. So, Tommy, if you don't want me to leak these messages with Molly May, part 2, step up to the plate. Otherwise, I'm coming for everybody's next. I'm coming for that whole family. It's going to be me raising Bambi. All right? Fuck you. May 16th, watch the champ defend his title against Tank. I'm not even calling him Tank. He's not a Tank. Tanner Tolman out of Arizona, or wherever the hell he lives. The wannabe Viking with blue eyes.
He was Scottish.
I don't know what he is. I have no idea what he is. He says he's Scottish. He says he lives in Mountain Time. I don't even know what GMT is.
That's UK time. You learn something every day. That's why I thought he was Scottish.
I thought GMT stands for Greater Mountain Time.
Yeah, that's like UK time.
Anyways, that's all the time we have for today. We are your host, Chase Demoor.
And Gabrielle Moses.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.